Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I have 145 hours in Mortal Kombat 11, and so I figured I will show you how many skins I've acquired within that amount of time. And this should give you an idea of how many skins you can acquire within 145 hours. Because in the beginning everybody was like really freaking out.
So as we can see, I got 13 skins for Shao Kahn, got 14 skins for Frost, I've got 19 skins for Johnny Cage. Some of those were probably already pre-unlocked because I got the premium edition. I got 13 skins for Sonya, and I got 12 skins for Cassie Cage, 14 for Jax, let's see, 15 Scorpion, 12 Noob, Baraka 12, Raiden 9, Jackie Briggs 14, Sub-Zero 14, Jade 14, Kung Lao 13, Katana 14, Liu Kang 10, Cabal 15, Kano 13, Scarlet 10, Aaron Black 11, Devora 11, Kodo Khan 11, Collector 16, Garrus 10, and Centurion 15. Alright, so now let's see what skins we've unlocked within 145 hours.
First two is what you start out with. And then, of course, after that, any you get outside of that, you have to unlock. Now you can see she's been a little bit customized. So her helmet and her wings in the back and that floating halo thing is all custom. But anyway, here's an unlocked skin.
Here's one. And here's another. Again, another.
I like this. I really like the bright green. We'll go through this relatively quick because I've got a lot of skins to show you all, and I don't want to bore you with a long, drawn-out video. People were freaking out. They were thinking it was going to take, I don't know, anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 hours to unlock any decent amount of skins, but as you can see, that's not true. I do want to say, while showing you guys this, that I am definitely not a fan of the censorship. I think it's a bunch of bullcrap, and I don't agree with it, and almost didn't buy the game because of that. That alone was enough to make me not want to purchase the game. I don't condone censorship. Now you might say, well, then you're a hypocrite because you went and bought the game anyways. Therefore, you should put your money, your wallet, where it counts, and, hurt them where it counts. Show them with your wallet that you don't approve of the censorship and all the political jargon and propaganda that they've attempted with this game. But I knew this game was going to sell in huge numbers, whether I bought it or not. It was my purchase wasn't going to make any difference at all. If I knew a lot of people were behind, definitely not buying this game because of the censorship factor, then I definitely would have held out. But I just already knew, because of all the pre-sales, basically, and all the hype and money they put into marketing this game, that, they were for sure going to have good numbers in the sales. Now, I've tried to find out what those numbers are, and I haven't been able to find an answer online as far as how their sales went. So if you do know that information, please enlighten me in the comment section below and let me know how their opening sales went. I'm curious to see if they did better than with their Mortal Kombat X release, which I personally don't believe they have. I think the Mortal Kombat X is probably still outsold this, but I'm not sure. I'd be surprised if this did surpass the sales of Mortal Kombat X, just because of all the controversy surrounding this game and the censorship. I have decided that if they do not release, more better skins for this game down the road, if they decide to keep this game censored, that I will not purchase any additional DLC, and I will further not purchase any more products from NetherRealm Studios if this is the kind of path that they wish to take, is censor adult-rated games for adults who should have the freedom of choice to choose if they want either a censored version or an uncensored version. It'd be really easy just to offer the fans the fan service and the right to choose if they want to play with, more skimpy or risky skins in an adult, mature, 17-plus rated game, and not treat us like little children, Give us the choice. Let us have a choice between either a censored version or an uncensored version. And if you don't want the public, or if you don't want to offend someone out there in the public, say if you're going to play online, then not allow the uncensored skins to be an option with online play. Only allow the uncensored skins to be an option to be played by the person who purchased the game with online options only. This way, nobody gets offended, everybody's happy, and those that appreciates the female body and the beauty of the female body, or they appreciate the originality of the characters' skins, their looks, and everything else, they will have that option. They'll have that freedom to choose that. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm going a little quick through these as I'm rambling on, but again, I got a lot of skins to show, and I don't want to drag this video out too awful long. I just want to give you an idea of what you can do within 145 hours of gameplay. And as a matter of fact, not all of that was me actually playing. I would say about 70 hours of that 145 hours, letting the game play itself through AI while I did other things. I think that is a great option in this game. I really like the fact that you can use the AI to play the towers for you, to do, battles for you in other modes, and earn you money, skins, augments, souls, hearts, all these different things. So there may be a little pause in between skins. Now, even though she's covered up quite a bit in this one, I do like this skin. Not a fan of this one, but I do like this one. And of course, I like these other ones a lot more. But again, I am disappointed with the way they changed everything. The amount that they've covered the females up, I am extremely disappointed with. And I'm not a fan of it, and I don't agree with it, and I think they need to honor the fans and give us the right to choose. Give us the right to enjoy our characters as we know them and remember them. Because as we can all see with the male characters, they definitely didn't hold back. And a lot of the male characters still have their original looks, where all the females has been modified, and that's just not right. I have heard even female players voice their opinion and say their concerns with it. I mean, what are we going to have next? Are we going to start getting censored fatalities? Are we going to see less and less blood? Are we going to have less fatalities in time because people are offended by blood, violence, and gore? I mean, is the next thing going to be, well, we're having too many school shootings, we have too much bullying going on in school, we have too many bad influences on our younger children? So therefore, we decided that we're going to tone down on the fatalities. If anything, your next fatalities might be a hug and an apology for kicking their ass. Like, hey, I'm sorry, I beat your ass, and and here's a hug, and let's just be friends.
Let's sing Kumbaya by the campfire.
Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun. I love the trees and forests. I'm always having fun. Thank you. I don't know what to say.
That's kind of where it's headed toward. It might be a little exaggerated, but I mean, come on. We're just getting down to that area where it's getting ridiculous. And the SJWs, they don't play these games. They don't buy these games. They don't support these companies. They do nothing for these companies that make these games that we've been fans of for years. I can remember when I was a kid going to the arcade, and my earliest memories was playing Mortal Kombat at the arcade, as a young teenager. I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat at the arcade. I was around when the original Mortal Kombat came out at the arcade. I remember me and all my friends would get excited. We just could not stop talking about Mortal Kombat and how much fun it was. And, you could only play it at the arcade. They didn't have any sophisticated gaming machines at the time. I think maybe Nintendo might have been around at the time. Maybe the second generation of Nintendo or PlayStation may have been around. I don't know. I'd have to look at the years. But we definitely, at the time when this came out, didn't have the ability to play Mortal Kombat at home. You had to go to the arcade to play Mortal Kombat. And in a lot of ways, I do kind of miss that experience, that enjoyment of going out to the arcade, because we're getting more sophisticated computers, we're getting more sophisticated consoles. It's much more of a convenience to be able to play at home. But it was nice getting out with your friends, going somewhere, and actually playing on a nice big gaming machine. Everybody would do contests, we would see who could win the most matches in a row, we would do our little bets, make a little bit of money on the side. It was fun. We had a lot of fun doing it, and, those were good times. Now, when they did make the games available on the earlier consoles, like the Sega Genesis, PlayStation 2 or 3, whenever Mortal Kombat came out, for your home entertainment gaming experience, I got it. Every Mortal Kombat game after that, I got it. for the developers who, was to say to us that we're not their true fans, or we're not fans of the franchise because we disagree with their choices and some of their actions as far as this game goes, is a total insult and a slap in the face. It is absolutely, it's just ridiculous. It's like some of these game developers has got some nerve to talk and act the way they do in regards to the people who basically made them, who gave them, who took their games and made them something. Because if it wasn't for the fans, they would be nothing. Yeah, of course, if it wasn't for the games, we wouldn't have anything to be a fan of, right? So it takes both parties. But, you can be an insult to your fans. You can be offensive to your fans to the point that, they just may not care about your company anymore. And
you have lost the fans tonight. You don't deserve the fans. You don't deserve anything from this club. You got the job on the technicality of you are nothing, you are a fool, and you are a waste of time. Good night.
I don't think that's good for business. I mean, look at what happened with Battlefield and the latest Call of Duty. The politics in those games and the crap they pulled there. It's like more and more developers, it's just like poking jabs at their livelihood. I mean, we are their livelihood. We are the ones that support their company. We're the ones that are fans of their art and their designs and their games. Not the SJWs. They don't buy these games. Like I said, they don't play these things. We do. We're the ones that built their companies. We're the ones that helped them get their nice cars, get their big houses, have their big bank accounts, because we support their product. We are fans of their products. And to take a product that we had been fans of for many years and completely switch it up on us and then throw in our face how we're not mature enough to deal with that kind of content and how that kind of content is offensive and somewhat demeaning to females, which I don't agree with, is a total slap in the face. Not only to us, but to the females who fight for equality. Like, if I was a female, I would be offended that, the male characters in here can wear a lot less, but the females have to be ashamed of their figure, they have to cover up, they have to be ashamed of their bodies. Like, I would feel offended as a female over that. I would feel like that's not equal. That's not equal rights. And, so it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Sorry to have been on it for so long. But back to the skins, as you can see, you can get a good variety within under 200 hours. So a lot of that earlier stuff, don't let it get to you. Don't let it scare you or intimidate you towards playing.
Seeing a red Sub-Zero just doesn't look right.
And then they bragged and bragged and bragged about how we had all these huge customization options, how that was such a big thing with this game. Well, I'm not really impressed. I mean, some of these things that you can customize, for example, you can't barely even see. I mean, we should be able to customize the whole entire outfit. That would be nice, But we get like a mask you can customize? Okay, wow, just a mask. Big whoop. Or their weapon, some of them's weapon you can't hardly even see during a match, or it's not even there unless you do a move that makes the weapon pop out. I mean, I don't know why they thought this was such a huge feature, because in one of their games in the past, I can't remember which version of Mortal Kombat it was, but I seen a video on it the other day where you could completely customize the whole character from head to toe. Like, that's not new to Mortal Kombat, that customization. But they played it out as if that was some totally new that had never been around before, and that's just not true. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that these skins are nice. I mean, there are some skins I really, really like. For example, I really like this skin. I think this is really cool. I like how it looks, and I think it's awesome. We do get to see a little bit of legs, some cleavage, and a little bit in the back, but not a whole lot. But the outfit itself is really cool. And here's another one that I like. I really like this. But would I like to see her in a bikini and fight? Yeah, hell yeah I would. I'm a guy. Of course I want to see that. And, they could do that in very tasteful ways. It doesn't have to be sleazy. It doesn't have to be degrading. It doesn't have to be anything like that. They can give them more risque clothes and do it in a tasteful manner that's not offensive. I think Soul Calibur did a great job with it. I think, Tekken and Street Fighter, they've both done good jobs with their designs. And also Dead or Alive. Unfortunately, Dead or Alive tried to cater to both sides of the coin, the fan service and the SJWs. And because of that, it really hurt their company quite a bit. I don't even know what's going to happen as a result of them going back and forth between covering up and uncovering, covering up and uncovering. It's like they're trying to satisfy both parties. I think they did come up with a really smart idea, which people had suggested for a long time, which is give people the choice to either cover up or not. So they offered that option. They offered the option to play censored or uncensored, which all game developers should offer, especially in adult-themed games, and games that, are catered more to your more grown-up, mature audiences. Yes, there are going to be younger people who play adult games. Of course, when I was a kid, if there was an adult version of anything, I was definitely wanting to get my hands on that, as all kids and teenagers do. But that's not everybody's responsibility to sacrifice and give up their enjoyment and what they like to cater to unsupervised younger audiences out there who, may not be monitored, or, their parents may not care or look into what they're playing. That shouldn't be on us to, it just shouldn't be. That should be the responsibility of the parents. And if they're not happy with a game and the way it's made or designed, then it should be their responsibility to either tell their children, yes, you can play this, or no, you can't. It shouldn't fall onto everybody else. And, some other things people were bringing up was the fact that, you got so much blood, gore, and guts, and women getting their heads blown off, their heads chopped off, completely debowed, gutted, split in half, beat on it in all different kinds of ways. And yet, that is totally appropriate and okay.
Fatality. Fatality.
But showing a little bit of skin is a big no-no. That's like a big, oh my god, don't do that. We don't want to offend anybody with that, but... There's countries like Japan and China and some other countries where, nudity is not such a big deal, but blood and guts are. So this game has been banned in other countries because of the violence. Whereas they may have games that show more skin, and yet that's more accepted in their culture. So everything's just so weird how over here, blood, guts, gore, decapitation, cutting people open, splitting them in half, blowing their heads off, all kinds of ways you could kill someone. And that's okay, but if we see a little bit of cleavage, it's the end of the world. The world is going to collapse if that happens. It's like the female body should be shamed, It should just completely be shamed, should be covered up, like in Iraq and Iran, where they cover up the women completely, and, you can see nothing but their eyes. Before you know it, that's going to be the standard in games where, SJW is just going to say, well, that lady, she's showing too much elbow. We got to cover up the elbow. We got to cover up the shoulder. We got to cover up the knees. We got to cover up the legs. We got to cover up the feet. I don't like her smile. I think her lips is, sending off too much of a lustful thing. So we got to cover up the lips. It's just getting ridiculous. That's why I'm a huge fan of CD Projekt Red. I'm glad that they're their own company, they're their own developer, and that they do not cater to anybody. They make the games they want to make, and to hell with who likes it and who don't. And I really like that, and I think that is awesome. And I think with Cyberpunk, that is going to be a great game, and I am so happy that you are going to have the option to either use an uncensored or censored version. That is great. That's how it should be with all games. Every game that has anything to do with any adult themes, you should definitely have that choice. Okay, so we're almost through this. Sorry if I flew through some of these, some of these outfits too quick for you, but again, just trying to give you a quick view of these so you can see what you can do within less than 200 hours. So it is doable. I've gotten a lot of these through the Towers of Time. I've gotten a lot of these through the Crypt. I've gotten some of these doing the learning tutorials. You know, you just gotta play different modes. Some of them playing through the story. You know, I finished the story, so.
Almost done.
And I totally hate almost all of Cassie Cage's clothes. I mean, they're way too covered up. Extremely too covered up. I don't even see how she can fight or move in the amount of coverage and armor and leather and plates and everything they've stuck on her. I mean, it's just beyond ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And the majority of her outfits are just god-awful ugly, you know, just horribly bad. It's just such a shame. I mean, like this. This makes her look like a robot or someone from outer space, you know, not like a Mortal Kombat fighter. Nothing like, you know, just, it's totally crazy, you know. And then we get here, you know, and you've already seen some of these other examples with some of the male characters, but, you know, like with Baraka and some of the things he was wearing. Of course, we're going to see this, you know, with Jax. You know, it's just, it's insane. Got skin-tight clothes on, showing all curves, everything. Open jackets, showing all muscles, you know. Again, skin-tight clothes. You know, not a huge amount of armor here. No, not really, you know. And Frost, I mean, to turn her into a robot, I mean, he took her from a beautiful female and turned her into some cybernetic robot. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, look here, Kodo Khan. I mean, look at this. Very little underwear here. And I think we'll go back to another character here in a second. You know, outside of Baraka, there's another character in here. It's pretty revealing. I love that one. I really love that one. That is, even though she's robotic and everything, that is a really nice skin there, I've got to admit.
So.
And I love this one. I mean, there's some really nice ones here. But they didn't all have to be so covered up. They didn't all have to be so shaming of the female body, you know. It just should have been choice. That's all I'm saying. Should have been choice.
Alright, so, just to show you.
I mean, look at this. I showed you this earlier, but I'm going to point it out here. Like right here. Look at this. I mean, I'd say 90% of his body is bare. 90. Maybe 87% of his body's bare. A huge amount of the body is bare in these skins. A huge amount. So, anyway, hey y'all, thanks for watching my video. I appreciate your views. And let me know what you think. I know I complained a lot about skins and censorship in this video, but I'm sure you all agree that it was a huge disappointment. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. And hey, happy gaming, have a good time.